America's birth rate is falling, and it's got everyone talking. Fewer babies are being born, and people wonder why. The government stepped in with new programs, baby bonds, expanded child tax credits. These financial perks are meant to make having kids easier. The hope? More support, more babies? But here's the twist. It's 2025 and birth rates are still low. Despite these incentives, not much has changed. So what's really going on? Are these policies missing the mark, or is something bigger at play? The answer isn't just about a few extra dollars. Let's dig into this puzzle. It's more complex than it looks. Financial help was supposed to move the needle, but the numbers haven't budged. Why aren't these policies working? What are we missing? Let's find out. The real story starts here. Let's break down these policies and understand their potential impact on families. We'll explore the mechanics and intentions behind them. Baby bonds. What are they exactly? Essentially, it's a government-funded savings account established for every newborn child in a specific region or country. The money in these bonds grows over time, accumulating interest until adulthood, with the intention of being used for higher education, like college, purchasing a house, or providing capital for starting a business venture. Now, let's shift our focus to child tax credits. These credits directly reduce the amount of taxes that families owe to the government, and in some cases, they can even result in families receiving refunds, either as a lump sum or through regular monthly payments. Both of these policies are designed to alleviate some of the financial burden and help with the overall cost associated with raising children. Baby bonds are intended to offer future financial security and stability, while tax credits are designed to provide more immediate financial relief to families. Ultimately, it's a recognition by policymakers that raising children is an incredibly expensive endeavor. But here's the snag. The actual comprehensive cost of raising a child in the United States of America is truly enormous and often underestimated. When we're talking about the expenses, we're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars per child, and that's just before they even reach college age. So while these perks and benefits, while undoubtedly helpful to some degree, are relatively small when compared to the sheer magnitude of the real expenses involved, in many ways they're just a patch on what is a much bigger, more systemic problem. The intention behind these policies is certainly good and well-meaning, but the overall impact is often quite limited in scope. Families still find themselves facing incredibly huge bills and financial pressures every single year. The gap between the available support and the financial realities is simply too wide. So, while these policies undoubtedly offer some level of assistance and help, they ultimately don't solve the core underlying issue at hand. The overall financial burden and strain on families remains incredibly heavy. And for a significant portion of the population, for many families, it's simply not enough to make a meaningful difference. The fundamental question then becomes, what would be a truly effective solution? Let's delve deeper and examine the real costs of raising a child, and explore why these smaller boosts and interventions often fall short of truly addressing the problem. Let's talk about the big expenses, the ones that truly weigh on families and impact their decisions every single day. Families face. These are the financial burdens that can feel insurmountable. Housing is a huge one, a fundamental need that has become increasingly difficult to afford. Finding an affordable, safe, family-sized place is tough. It's a constant struggle for many. Rents rise, seemingly without end, down payments are out of reach, a distant dream for many young families, and it's a major source of stress, impacting relationships and overall well-being. Then there's childcare, a necessity for raising children in today's world. Often more expensive, shockingly so, than college tuition. It's a staggering cost that many families simply can't afford. It's a necessity for working parents, allowing them to maintain their careers, not a luxury. It's an essential service that supports the entire economy. Most families need two incomes just to make ends meet in this expensive world, or are single parents, facing even greater challenges and financial strain. Add in student loans, a burden that weighs down an entire generation, and medical debt, which can arise unexpectedly and devastate a family's finances, and the pressure mounts. It's a constant juggling act, trying to balance needs and responsibilities. These financial burdens, these immense pressures, shape decisions about starting a family. They influence when and if people choose to have children. When you add up all these expenses, housing, childcare, and debt, a few $1,000s from a tax credit barely makes a dent. It's simply not enough to address the underlying issues. Baby bonds that mature in 18 years don't help with today's bills. Families need immediate relief, not promises for the distant future. The scale of the challenge is massive. It requires bold and comprehensive solutions. These policies help, providing some level of support, but they don't change the equation. They are not enough to truly lift families out of poverty. For many, it's a drop in the ocean, a small gesture in the face of overwhelming need. The real costs are just too high, the system is broken, and families are bearing the brunt of it. These programs address symptoms, offering temporary relief, not the root causes. We need to dig deeper and address the fundamental issues driving inequality. It's like bringing a cup of water to a house fire, a well-intentioned effort, but ultimately insufficient. The problem is bigger than a quick fix. It requires systemic change and a fundamental shift in priorities. So what else is going on? What are the deeper forces at play that contribute to this crisis? Let's look beyond the money. Let's examine the cultural and societal factors that shape our understanding of family and value. Culture is changing too, and with it, our understanding of what it means to raise a family in the 21st century. It's not just about money, it's about a fundamental shift in what society values and how individuals prioritize their lives. Society is changing too. The traditional structures that once defined our lives are evolving, giving way to new norms and expectations. People's priorities are shifting. They're reevaluating what truly matters to them in the grand scheme of things. Personal growth, careers, travel. These are becoming increasingly important aspects of a fulfilling life for many. Many delay or skip parenthood, and that's more accepted now. The social stigma once associated with these choices is fading. The old timeline, school, marriage, house, kids, is less common. It's no longer the default path for everyone. People marry later, cohabit, or choose not to have kids at all. There's more freedom to define happiness and success. Individuals are empowered to create their own unique definitions. This individual agency is a positive shift. For many, starting a family is just one option among many. The decision is more complex, with more variables. Now let's look abroad. Countries like Sweden and Denmark have higher birth rates. Why? They offer generous paid parental leave, universal childcare, and strong healthcare. These supports make having kids feel manageable. The environment is different. Families feel supported. It's a societal commitment to ensuring the well-being of families. In the US, support is patchy and limited. It varies greatly depending on location and socioeconomic status. The contrast is clear. Comprehensive policies matter. They create a safety net that allows families to thrive. Culture and policy work together. When families feel secure, birth rates are higher. It's not just about money. It's about support and stability. It's about knowing that you're not alone in raising a family. So, what could truly help American families? What kind of policies and cultural shifts are needed to create a more supportive environment for raising the next generation? Experts say current U.S. policies are too small to solve the problem. They're band-aids, not real solutions. What would make a difference? Systemic change. Universal, affordable, high-quality childcare. Paid parental leave for all parents for several months. Affordable, stable housing. These are the bold investments that could move the needle. It's about creating a society where families can thrive. The U.S. needs to think bigger, like other countries have. What would help you, or people you know? The conversation is just beginning. Real change starts with asking the right questions.